Hey everyone, it's me again, back for day one of my last 28. This one is on age, figuring if I'm doing this for my 50th birthday, I will do it on age. So, let's start off by asking, like, what is age? I mean, everybody knows that age is a number you're given for every year you're alive. Starts, when you're born, you're 2 months old, you're 6 months old, you're 12 months old, you're 24. Anybody ever say they have a 36-month-old is just being silly. They're three. You're three when you're 36 months. So, there's a milestones in age that everybody has. You get to be 15. 15 is an age where you're 6 months away from a permit, a year away from getting your driver's license. You get your driver's license at 16. Are you old enough to have it? Who says? I know some 16-year-olds I would be willing to, give anything to, and I've known some 16-year-olds, maybe me, that I wouldn't, leave with, a bottle of water and a bag of food. So that's my dog. Welcoming somebody to our neighborhood as we're locked down. So, I mean, age is. So, what does it mean? What does age mean? They say, age is not important unless you're a bottle of wine. Is that true? Is it not important? I mean, it has to be important. It's important enough to say at 18 you're an adult. It's important enough to say that you can serve your country at 18. But in this country, unfortunately, you can't legally have a beer until you're 21, right? Is it important when you're 21? At 21, do you have full access to everything? Well, not necessarily. You don't, in some cases, you can't rent a car unless you're 25. Nowadays, you can be on your parents' insurance until you're 26. So is 26 when you get to be considered a full adult? So what does it mean? I'm not sure if it means anything other than the fact that it's a way of judging, how many times around the earth have you been? How many times around the sun have we been? So the other question comes up is, are you ever too old? Ever too old for what? You can be too young for things, but can you be too old for some things? Are you ever too old to go to your favorite concert, see your favorite show? Are you ever too old to go skydiving? Are you ever too old to, get dressed up in some funny outfit for some holiday? And some people may think they are. Some people go, "Oh, I'm too old to do that." And I happen to completely disagree with that mindset, because I think if you think you're too old, maybe you are. Maybe you are too old to have a good time. Maybe you are to live life. Maybe you've just decided that your age puts you at a situation where you've reached a pinnacle of something, and I don't understand that. When I look back at my life, if I ever been too old for something, well, I don't know. This past year, for an 80s day at work, I dressed up as an 80s rocker. Am I too old to do that? Well, maybe in some cases I am. Maybe in my career I'm too old to do that. Maybe that's what's harmed a few things in my life. But, I like to say that, I've lived life as if age doesn't matter. And as I'm nearing to be 50, I don't know if age has mattered. It's obviously prompted me to make this video series and go about this, but I don't know. One of my least favorite things I've ever heard or been told, because Lord knows I've been told it, is act your age. What the hell is acting your age? I mean, honestly, what is acting your age? Does a 2-year-old act like a 2-year-old? They say it's the terrible twos, but how do we know? Does a 10-year-old act like a 20-year-old? Well, I know some 20-year-olds that act like 10-year-olds, and I also know some 65-year-olds that act 30, right? I mean, that's so what is acting your age? I mean, honestly, if you put that frame around age, and you put your frame around sort of acting your age, well, what does that limit you to? You know, how is a 50-year-old that I will be, you know, in T minus 27 days, what does acting 50 look like? You know, I often say I really don't ever remember my parents when they were 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, going and doing things that I do now. But was a different time back then? Were they not expected to? Was it too much of a social pressure not to do those things when you were a certain age? And I find that a little disheartening, but I find it curious to know that. You know, was it just that they were raising a family and they didn't have the money? I don't know. But I know at my age, I couldn't imagine not going and doing things with my wife or my kids and my family and my friends. I just couldn't imagine it. It is. So how do you know how to act when you're a certain age? I'm a little curious about that. Love to know your comments. And you know, what is age? What's it mean? You know, I know I'm going to be 50. It's a milestone. But after 50, do we ever tell anybody we're going to be 62? I mean, you know, that's a milestone, but you know, 50 seems to be that one that everybody seems to go celebrate, and then when somebody hits 75, they'll go celebrate that. But what happens those 15 years in between? Why aren't you celebrating that age all the time, right? So, yeah, I guess that's my thought on age. What does it mean? Well, and when I turn 50, am I going to act it? Well, anybody that knows me, good chance that it's not going to happen. So, yeah. So I think that's what I'll end it. I think I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Please share this video, and we will see you tomorrow.